Hey, what's up, Facebook? Happy Monday, Ricky V here. This is my very first time doing a Facebook Live utilizing a filter. I wanted to do black and white because I want to keep this very simple and very fast, and I want you guys to just tune into the seriousness, I suppose. But anyways, we're gonna hop on here. I'm gonna make this video very fast and very quick. I want to make sure that I get people plugged in as quick as possible so that when you watch this video, it doesn't take you too long. If you hear babies crying in the background, I got 4 of them, so it's just one of them crying in the background, so it's all good. Okay, but so here's the thing. I'm going to talk about 8 simple steps to growing a grassroots business. I believe in always growing a grassroots business because if you don't grow something that's grassroots, something that sticks around long enough, or something that you grew yourself, it doesn't stick around long enough, right? And we all hear about all the people that go out there and get deals, get money, get paid, whatever. It's all good, whatever your style of form is, but I'm talking to the people that want to go out there and build a grassroots business, something from scratch that over time can lead to something big. Now, you know, for my first few years in network marketing, I struggled big time. I wasn't that successful. I was very shy. I lacked a lot of confidence. Therefore, my first 2 years were extremely horrible. And and by the way, I'll do shout outs at the end, but my first few years were horrible. Right? And so it wasn't until I met a guy that sat me down and said, hey, there's there's mechanics behind building a successful network marketing business. There's actually mechanics behind learning a few things that you could do over time that could lead you to massive success. There's mechanics and actually understanding how to grow a business all over the world. And when I learned how to grow a business inside of this profession, it grew all over the world. I've been able to license and register products in several countries. My teams have grown from the US to Canada to Mexico to Peru to Colombia to Korea to China to Italy. I mean, it's all stuff I did by the age of 24. And so I don't consider myself lucky by any means. I consider myself lucky enough to have found people that shared with me the right information. I consider myself to be lucky that I found the right people that saw something in me and chose to pour stuff into me. And therefore, I'm grateful also that I was lucky enough to be like, hey, if these guys are giving me knowledge, I got to go out and apply it, right? Because even though I'm going to give you this stuff, it doesn't mean that it's all given. It doesn't mean that you just sit around and do nothing. I mean, you got to follow some very simple steps every single day. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is this. Very first thing before anything ever happens in your business, you better have a desperate why. Okay, you have to have a reason. Okay, having a why in your life is nothing more than having reasons. What are your reasons for growing a business? What is your why? And I'll tell you something right now. I look back at my life and I remember going through moments where when my daughter was 1 year old or 2 years old, I remember taking her to the grocery store, or taking her to Walmart to the toy section and have her play with the toys. And then we'd go home because I didn't have enough money to buy the toys that she wanted. Right? Fast forward a few years later, I buy her what I want. But that was a big reason for me to go out there and kick booty inside of this business. It just drove me crazy not being able to buy her anything, right, at the time. And so now she goes a little too crazy. You know, she's very smart and she knows when to ask for daddy-daughter dates because she knows exactly how to get what she wants. But nonetheless, I can walk in any store and get her anything that she wants. And it's just a breeze for me. And that was a big reason why to grow a business back in the day. I think your reasons begin to grow, they begin to evolve, they grow differently. Now for me, one of my biggest reasons to build a business is just because when you guys talk network marketing 10 years from now, I don't want you to be able to talk about network marketing without mentioning my name. That's just one of my whys. It's a very ego-driven why, but that's just the thing that I like as one of the things on my bucket list. So what is your reason for wanting to grow a business? Now here's the thing, your why, your reasons for growing a business has to fuel you, because if you don't have fuel inside of your heart, inside of your mind, if there's no actual why for you to go out there and build a business, then here's what happens. There's no power behind your words. There's no conviction behind what you're telling people. There's no swagger. There's nothing. There's no power behind what you're saying if you don't have a powerful why. And most of the successful stories inside of this industry come from people that in a certain moment in their lives, their backs were against the wall. They couldn't go anywhere else. They'd hit rock bottom. They had no more money. They had nowhere to go. They had no job resumes. They had nothing. So it was either I'm going to make this work or I'm going to die trying. Like that was the mentality of a lot of the stories that you hear inside this industry, because they just had powerful whys. If you don't have that powerful why developed inside of you yet, if you don't have that reason for wanting to wake up every single morning and go out and build a business, I'm not saying you have to love your product so much that you just want to go out and help people. Of course, that's a big reason, right? But there has to be something else inside of you, a reason in your life that you want to go out there and kick booty inside of this business, right? So that's number one, is having a desperate why. And I have a list here. I was doing a team training, and then I crumbled this up and I threw it away. And I was like, nah, I should probably pick it out and do a Facebook Live for everybody, okay? Number two is this. Number two is making a list of people, okay? Now, this is something so generic, so simple, but you have to make a list of people, right? Now, when I got started in this industry, I was 22 years old, and I had no influence. And at the time, I think Facebook wasn't even that popular. I think even some of us were still like on MySpace or something like that, right? So like the idea of making a list, and I remember somebody telling me, hey, you got to go out there and make a list of 100 people. And I was like, how in the world, dude? Like mom, dad, you know, brothers, like a couple friends. But it's like, that's the reason why we all have those memory joggers, right? Because when you really start to think about, okay, who do I know within my family? Who are my closest friends? Who are just acquaintances that I know? Who are people on Facebook? Who are people that I go to church with? Who are people that I hang out with all the time? Who are people that are, I don't know, at the grocery store, that because you're such a regular at the grocery store, they know who you are, right? They know who you are. And so you say hi, you smile, you wave. Those are people that have to go on a list. Now, I suggest having a physical list, because if you don't have a physical list, you can't continue to grow your list. And if you don't have a physical list, there's no way you're memorizing 100 names right in your brain right now, where you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 100. So you got to have a list of people. Now, back then, I had a list of like maybe 20 something people, right? This is why my recruiting was so low. This is why I had no success in the industry in the first few years. But nonetheless, I pulled a notebook out and I committed to one thing back then. I said, never, ever, ever will I be in a position in my life where I need people and I don't got any. Like, I don't got that many connections. Well, fast forward to this day, I could go join any business at any time, and I have a list, a notebook, a list of people, about 600 to 700 people that are all successful in whatever projects or careers they're a part of, that I could call up right now because they know me and I know them, and I could be like, listen, check this out. This is what I'm excited about. And they would listen because I've built that relationship with them. So number two is making a list. So when there's two parts to a list. Number one, you make a list of all the people that you know. Number two, you make that commitment to continue to grow that list, whether it's growing it by a few people a week or growing it by a few people a day. You want to make sure that you continue to grow that list. Number three is the invitation. Now, the invitation is by far something that a lot of networkers, a lot of professionals have always talked about being the gateway skill to having success in whatever business that you're in inside of network marketing. Now, in my opinion, that's true. In my opinion, if you have this badass list, if you have this powerful why, but you don't know what to say, you suck at inviting, then you can forget about the rest of the steps. But here's the thing. Here's the good news is that, like, if you absolutely suck at recruiting, if you suck at, making a list of people, or you suck at everything else, but you're absolutely good at inviting, you're damn good at inviting, right? Like, you can just talk to somebody and pique them enough for them to be like, dude, I want to know what you're doing. Like, if you're that good at inviting, you can go out there and make fortunes upon fortunes upon fortunes, because all you're doing in network marketing is having people take a look at your product or take a look at your business. That is it. There's nothing else, right? I mean, right, trainings, leadership, all that. But for you to grow a customer base, for you to grow a team, for you to do all those things, you need to go out there and you need to master the invitation. And the invitation to me is so freaking simple, because I'm like, okay, listen, number one, be genuine, right? Like, you can't be this person that like everybody around you has known as like the funny person, and all of a sudden call people and be like, hey man, like, I'm about to build a multi-million-dollar empire, and people are like, they don't really gravitate towards that because they don't know you as that person. So mastering the invitation is being very genuine. Now, here's the thing. I remember back then having a list of like 20-something people that were mega successful, and I remember reaching out to them just saying, like, listen, man, like, I suck at this, but I'm excited about it. Would you at least do me a favor and check it out? Like, that was my invitation back then. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't me being like, dude, I've been in the business for 90 days and my team is blowing up, man. Like, it was just so simple. It was like, dude, like, I'm brand new and I'm scared as heck to talk to you, but I'm excited about this. Would you be open to at least taking a look? right? Hey, could you do me a favor and take a look at what I'm doing? It's probably not for you. I don't know if it is or not, but would you be willing to at least do me a favor and take a look? Right? Like when you approach people with a favor approach, or you approach with people with the if I would you. Hey, listen, man, I'm excited about a company. If I send you a quick 2-minute video, would you take a look? Would you be open to just spending 2 minutes? Hey, listen, I got to show you something that I'm excited about. Are you in a position in your life right now where you want to earn additional income? Apart from what you're doing, right? Like the invitation of so many ways. Now, I think regardless of what network marketing company you're with, I'm sure your upline or your company has created little scripts that you can copy and paste to people, whatever it is, whatever your style of doing it is. But don't just copy and paste it. Don't just be like someone that's just regurgitating information that's not even yours. Like make it your own. Have fun. Keep it simple. But the strongest advice I can tell you about the invitation is 2 things. Number 1, keep it simple, and number 2, be genuine. That's all people are asking for. They don't want you to hype anything up. They don't want you to invent some crazy story. They don't want to know about your upline that's made mega millions in the industry. They just want to know that you care, you're being genuine, and you're actually putting effort and reaching out to them. So that's number 3. Okay, so number 1 is have your desperate why. Number 2 is making sure that you that you have made a list, and number 3 is the invitation. Okay. Number 4 is simple, is sharing the plan. That's all it is share the plan, share the plan, share the plan, share the plan. The more people you can share the plan to, the faster your customer base can grow, the faster your team can grow, right? Like if there's a team of 1,000 people who are just sharing the plan one time a month, then your team is not going to grow as fast as the team that has 1,000 people who are sharing the plan one day. Every day for the month, right? So like the whole sharing the plan thing is you got to articulate what your method of sharing the plan is going to be. Most companies have maybe like an ATM group, or maybe you have like some YouTube video, or maybe you have your generic website you can take people to. Regardless of what it is, the whole point of having a desperate why and making a list and learning how to invite is so that you can invite people so that you can share the plan. Right? And it's not you sharing the plan, it's you sharing the tool that's going to share the plan to that person. It's you taking that person and saying, hey, here's a group. It's you saying, hey, they accepted your invitation. Hey, here's my upline. Or hey, here's a YouTube video. Or hey, it's you just guiding people to the information. And that's how you share the plan, share the plan, share a plan. Dexter Yeager back in the day said, you got to be sharing the plan 5-6 times a week. Okay, not 5-6 times a year or 5-6 times a decade. A lot of people's momentum slows down, or a lot of people don't even kick it into momentum because they're not fast enough to get through the numbers, right? Okay, so that's number 5, or that's number 4 is sharing the plan. Number 5 is following up. Okay, following up. Now, following up is crucial. And I don't say that just to say it. I say it based on experience. I did one time an experiment where I reached out to 100 people in January. And all I did that year was I continued to follow up with those people every 15 to 30 days by simply giving an update. Hey man, I know you told me you weren't excited or you weren't ready or you didn't think it was for you, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. We just had our best month yet. I hope you're well. I hope we can start doing business together sometime soon. Or hey man, just wanted to give you a quick update. I just had my biggest commission week, super fired up. Or hey man, I know you told me that because of school you were busy, but it's May now and I'm excited about the promotions coming for the company in this summer. I wanted to see if you're open to taking a look and seeing if maybe you can earn some part-time income from your cell phone to help pay for school, right? Like a follow-up is nothing more than updating. And it's like Nathan Ricks over at this other company always talks about like having this clock where like as soon as it's someone's 12 o'clock, it's the perfect timing. But sometimes people are at 2 o'clock or at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and it's just not perfect timing. Don't ever burn bridges with somebody. Don't ever be like, if someone says, hey man, like I just don't have the time, don't be that person that says, huh, really? Well, if we just take note of how long you watch TV or how long it takes you to go to the restroom, I'm pretty sure you can squeeze in some time. Like, people don't want that. If it's not their time, respect it. Just say, hey, listen, great. Do you mind if I follow up with you in a few weeks to share with you how my success is going? 100% of the people are going to be like, yeah, for sure, man, just keep me updated. So be that person that's continuing to update, continuing to share new information, continuing to follow up. When I did that experiment and I reached out to 100 people in January, after 12 months of continuing to follow up with all those people every 15 to 30 days, guess what happened? Out of those 100, I converted about 27. Okay, 27 out of 100 just by simply following up, not by playing this crazy recruiting game, not by being phony or nothing like that. It was just simply following up. Okay, so the next step is be a leader. Okay, you got to be a leader, man, because like being a leader constitutes a lot of different things, right? But being a leader simply means and by the way, being a leader has nothing to do with the amount of money that you're making, right? Because you can be like, to me, like the definition of a leader is somebody that is going to show up. Someone is a leader. You know, I heard a quote a while ago that said, leader of one, leader of many. If you can't lead one, you can't lead any. So you always got to start off by leading who? It's not just by leading, who's the right person to lead first. It's yourself. And you can start being a leader and playing the biggest leader in your personal life by simply showing up, every single day, writing down your goals, by being the leader that shows up every single day and reaches out to new people, by being the leader that every single week is plugging in to the company events, to the company Zoom calls, to the company Facebook Lives, to the company conference calls, being the leader that attends the events, the conventions, the regionals. You have to lead your own life. You had to lead yourself first before you can lead one, before you can lead 10, before you can lead 100, 1,000, 10,000, right? So that is being a leader. Okay, the next one is very simple, but it's called personal growth. Okay, personal development. Personal growth, personal development, self-help, whatever it is. Now, this is like, for me, the concept that changed my whole life, because I just feel like it allows you to to take self-responsibility, right? Like, it's one thing, like if someone has their hand down on your head and is not letting you move up, right? Like physically. But like in terms of success and wealth and network marketing, like really there is nothing holding you down except for yourself. But that's the good news too, because you yourself can remove that lid and continue to grow it up. And that's what you call personal development or self-help. Now, when I first got started in personal development and all that stuff, like it just didn't resonate with me. But one day we were driving to a convention, right? I wasn't driving, my buddy was driving, and I fell asleep. And I woke up a couple hours later. I'm not the best person to drive places with because I fall asleep quick. Even if we're like going to the grocery store, I just knock out. So anyways, we're driving and I fall asleep. I wake up. When I woke up, I heard this distinct voice. And all I heard was, for things to get better, you've got to get better. For things to change, you've got to change. And I'm like, who is that guy? My buddy's like, dude, that's Jim Rohn. I'm like, I like his voice. Like, you know, give me some of his stuff. And he had a CD and I listened to that over and over and over again. And it just instilled in me like self-power, because I'm like, dude, that's so true. For things to change, you've got to change. And I was like, okay, like I can focus on that. Like I can read the books. I can listen to the audios. And I started to listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen. 99% of the stuff that comes out of my mouth is just stuff that comes out through self-inspiration based on stuff that I heard in the past from somebody else. It's never something that I just invented and I was like, whoa, dude, like I'm the first inventor of self-help. Like this goes on hundreds and hundreds of years back, centuries back, right? And so I heard that and I was like, okay, I'm going to get into the books. So I read the books over and over and over and over again. I listened to the audios over and over. I mean, I got playlists on YouTube. I got playlists on Google Play. I got playlists on iTunes. I got PDF books on my laptop, and I got physical books. My wish list on Amazon is like a few $1,000s if I were to just buy it today. But it's like, I'm obsessed with the idea that it's like, okay, for those people that see drastic change in their lives, right? You can't see someone go from here to up here and they stayed the same. Like they had to change. And so you can change gradually over time, or you can change obsessively very fast. Like you can say, okay, I'm done. Like from this moment out, I'm done eating garbage. I'm done listening to garbage. I'm done looking at garbage. Like I got YouTube playlists because I like to see people speak. Like when I see the greats, like when I see Dexter Yeager speak on stage, or Jeff Roberti speak on stage, or Nathan Ricks speak on stage, it gives me the sense of like, dude, I want to be like those guys, right? And then I have audios. I'm listening to audios, and then I'm reading the books, and I'm just immersing myself in this world, because it's true what they say, that you become the average of the 5 people that you hang around. And back then I was like, well, I don't even know how to make 5 friends that are successful. So I began to surround myself by successful people on YouTube. Like that was the key there. It doesn't have to be physically. You can change your environment by what you're listening to and what you're seeing every single day and become obsessed with it. So that was my whole thing. It's like, so to me, it's like having a desperate why and immersing yourself into personal development will do wonders for everything else. Like social media is a bonus, right? Like having the coolest invitation is a bonus. Having a long list of people to talk to is a bonus. Being a leader, all that stuff is a bonus. But if you have a desperate why, a lot of reasons for you to go out there and kick booty in this business. And on top of that, you're obsessively working on yourself. You're obsessively listening to the audios. You're obsessively reading the books, and you're becoming better and better and better and better every single day. Things will change fast for you. People will be like, dude, you talk different. You sound different. Like there's a different aura about you. And you don't get that by just learning social media. You don't get that by just saying, hey, I'm a leader. You don't get that by writing a list of people. You get that by having a desperate why, so desperate and so big that you just have this fire coming out of your mouth when you talk to people. And you do that by getting obsessed and growing yourself to become the person that attracts the millions, to be the person that attracts people, right? To be the person that attracts opportunities, because you can become that person. And then last but not least is the golden rule of network marketing. And people say this many different ways, but the golden rule of network marketing comes down to three things. Do the business correctly, consistently, and do it long enough, right? Because if you're not doing the business correctly, you're not having success, okay? But if you are doing the business correctly, but you're not doing it consistently, then it doesn't matter. But if you're doing the business correctly every single day, and you're doing the business consistently every single day, and you do that for a long enough amount of time, okay, whether it's 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, by every single day picking up this list and saying, okay, this is my why. This is why I woke up today. This is my list. I know what I'm going to say when I reach out to all these people and make the invitation. I know how I'm going to share the plan, and I'm going to sure as heck be following up with people every 3 days, every 15 days, every 30 days, and I'm going to be a leader, and I'm going to make sure that this entire week I plug into all my events. I'm going to be a leader and make sure that every single day I show up for myself first, and then I show up for my team, okay? And then I'm going to continue to practice these things over and over and over and over and over again until one day you're one of those people that people consider a network marketing professional. Like, keep this in mind. Social media is powerful. That's just a bonus. But what I'm teaching you here, okay, this is like what I'm teaching you right here is something that we're like, if I said, hey man, like, you know what, here's a piece of paper, I'll put it in your pocket, and I'm gonna go drop you off in Thailand, and in a year you gotta go out and build a successful business inside of network marketing, that you would know how to go pick a company and how to start from scratch, and in 12 months have an organization that's just popping off, providing you the income that you need full time and giving you that lifestyle that you desire. So that's why I'm doing this Facebook Live. Now, social media is a great asset, and I kick butt on social media, obviously, but I think like it's good to understand the foundation of everything, of how this works, the mechanics of it. Because if you can bring in 3 people into your business and you can properly guide them in making a desperate why, making a list of people and showing them how to start the invitation process and how to share the plan, and you're instilling in them to be a leader, right? And encouraging them the right books and the right audios to listen to, and you're hanging with them for a few months, 7 months, 12 months, you're gonna have a business that continues to grow over and over and over again. And a lot of people just try to just bring loads of people into a business, and they never teach them the mechanics. And when you have 100 people on your team and they don't understand the mechanics, they don't know how to invite, they don't know how to make a list, they don't even know what their why is, they're not reading books, then that 100 people will turn into one person, which is yourself, real quick. But if you have a team of 100 people that are all following these things, then eventually that 100 can grow to a team of 1,000 real quick as well. So anyways, with that, everyone have a happy Monday. If you found value in this Facebook Live, drop a 1 below. That would mean the world to me. If you found extra value in this, tag some people. If you found a lot more value in this, share this on your pages, or subscribe to this channel, so next time that I pop up on a Facebook Live, you can be notified and we can all plug in and have fun and do some things together. So with that, thanks everybody for hopping on this live. Have an amazing Monday, have an amazing week, and this is the last week of August, and get ready to make the last quarter of 2018 the biggest year of your life. With that, take care, talk soon.